Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the payment function, also known as PMT. So I've opened up the Learning Files workbook and I'm on the financing worksheet. Now, if you don't see the financing worksheet when you first open up the Learning Files workbook, you just need to click on this right navigation button so that you can see any pages that aren't displayed by default. Okay, so if we look at this worksheet, we can see that we have some different loan scenarios laid out. We've got the number of payback years, total number of payments, loan amount, interest rate, and down payment. And then we've got a place where we're going to calculate our monthly car payment using the PMT formula. Now, the things that you need in order to calculate a PMT formula are the number of payments, the loan amount, and the interest rate. These are the three things you need in order to use this formula. So let's use it. I'm going to click in cell B7 because that's where I want my answer to show up. To access the PMT function, I click on the Insert Function button. And then I'm in the search window, I'm going to type PMT and hit go. And here it is in my Select a Function window. And when it's highlighted, it tells me in the area at the bottom of the window that the PMT calculates the payment for a loan based on constant payments and a constant interest rate. I'm going to select it by clicking OK. Now my function arguments windows open up. Any of the arguments that are bolded are required for the formula. The ones that are not bolded are optional. So as I click in these argument windows, some information about what's required in that window shows up here at the bottom. So for example, I'm in the rate window. So it says rate is the interest rate per period for the loan. So I'm going to click on B5 because that's where my interest rate is. Now, interest rates are given as an annual number. We need to calculate a monthly number, a monthly rate. So we need to divide this by 12. Okay, so it's rate divided by 12 because there are 12 months in the year. If I click in the NPR window, it tells me down here, NPR is the total number of payments for the loan. So I'm going to click here in cell B3 because that's where that information is. If I click in PV, this says PV is the present value, the total number that a series of future payments is worth now. So basically, that's your loan amount. So my loan amount is in cell B4. So I'm going to click on it. Now, FV stands for future value or a cash balance you want to attain after the last payment is made. Obviously, you want to pay off the loan, so it would be 0. And if you omit it by not typing anything in here, the formula assumes a 0. So I'm going to leave nothing there. In the type window, this is a logical value. Payment at the beginning of the month gets a 1, and payment at the end of the month gets a 0. And this is used by loan companies to determine an amount for your loan. So let's look at what a 1 would do. It makes our payment $436.89. If I leave it as a 0, it's $438. So you save a tiny bit of money by paying at the end of the month versus the beginning. I'm going to omit that and just click OK. So here it is. My monthly payment based on this scenario would be $439 a month. Now, by default, the results of the payment formula are displayed as a negative value. That's why it's red and in parentheses. If you want to change that to a positive value, there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can open up your argument window again by clicking in the cell that holds your formula and then clicking back on that insert function button. And then in the PV window, just put a dash right before your cell reference and hit OK. And that changes it to a positive value. I'm going to hit undo and show you the other way. Or in your formula bar, you can click between the equals and the P and put the dash there and then hit enter. And that also changes it to a positive value. Now, when I built my formula, I used cell references. And the reason I did that is so that if I change any numbers that the formula is based on, it'll update my formula. So let's say I'm really going to go out and get a car loan and I want to play with my options. Okay, let's say instead of 24 months, I'm kicking around maybe 48 months. Okay, that changes my payment to $230 a month. And let's say instead of 10,000, I'm thinking maybe 15. All right, I'm up to 345. And let's say my interest rate instead of 5, I'm going to see what a 3% interest rate looks like. Okay, a little bit of a difference. All right, so this is a really handy formula to know if you're ever going to borrow money for anything. Okay, I know I've used it a lot so that when I go in to negotiate my loan, I'm going in informed. I already know what the end result might be. Okay, so that's the payment formula, or PMT.